welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some goulash, but I did make it my way. Instead of making it in one pot, I just cooked the noodles separate so I could save some noodles that were untouched. So I am just starting out with 1 pound of ground beef. This was 85/15 ground beef, so I am just going to cook this all up until it is no longer pink and then drain the excess grease and oil. So at the same time as I'm cooking this, I am cooking 1 full box of elbow macaroni noodles. So once I drain this, I'm going to start seasoning the meat. So I am going to add in some minced garlic, some garlic salt, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. So next, I'm just going to mix this all in. I'm just going to make sure all the meat is seasoned. And then I'm going to add 1 can of tomato sauce. This is a 16-ounce can. And then I also used 1 can of petite diced tomatoes. So I'm just going to mix this all in and let it start cooking down with the meat. And my macaroni noodles are done, so I'm just going to drain them and then I'm going to put them back into the same pot that I cooked the noodles, and then I will add everything into that one big pot. So next I'm just going to mix everything together. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of water and then 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. Next, for the fun part, is the cheese. So I did add like 1 tablespoon of some cream cheese, just kind of extra since I had it, and then I'm going to add in a couple handfuls of this Mexican blend shredded cheese. You can kind of just add as much cheese as you want. I am doing quite a bit. This is 1 full box of pasta. So I just roasted some broccoli on the side and made a piece of garlic bread. This is how everything looked when it was done. Just some nice comfort food. The next dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some homemade chicken tenders with some waffle fries and some roasted broccoli. So I'm going to start out with my chicken. I have my dredging station ready. I'm just going to butterfly the chicken breast in half. That way I can cut some thinner pieces of chicken tenders. So I did make a good handful of extra chicken tenders, that way they can be taken for lunch the next day for my fiance. So I'm just going to lightly season the chicken with some garlic powder and some Cajun seasoning, and then I did the same to the flour and cornstarch mixture. I used some Cajun seasoning, some onion powder, some garlic powder, just toss that together. So I'm not going to double bread these. I'm just going to start out with the egg wash mixture and then into the flour and cornstarch and then on to the plate. Very important to shake off the excess breading, that way it doesn't clump in the oil. Is that a baby toy or a dog toy in the background? Never know. So before I begin to fry the chicken, I'm just going to get the sides ready. So I just sprayed a little bit of oil on this pan, and then I'm going to add in part of a package of some waffle fries to cook, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this frozen broccoli. I do also season the broccoli once it becomes nice and soft. So I'm just going to begin frying my pieces of chicken. I think I only started out with like 4 because you always have tester pieces when you fry food. So I'm just going to fry these up until they're nice golden brown and a little bit hard to the touch. So once the chicken tenders are done, I like to pick them up, drain the excess oil off, and then put them on a wire rack to cool and finish draining. So I'm just going to work on all my batches of chicken. I think I had 3 batches. You don't want to crowd the pan and lower the temperature of the oil. So this is how everything looked when it was done. We just served it with some of our favorite sauces on the side. Very, very good. This last dinner was my favorite dinner of the week. I made some chicken tacos with some browned flour tortillas, some onion, cilantro, and guacamole. So I'm just going to start off with chopping my onion and cilantro mixture. You could also add tomatoes to make pico de gallo, but this was just fine. So I just cut up part of a yellow onion and I'm just going to dice these up into small pieces. We both love cilantro and onion on our tacos, so I always make sure to have a good amount of this. The easy way to chop up your cilantro is to just roll it and then chop it sideways. So I'm just going to lightly season this mixture with some lime juice, some pepper, and some garlic salt. I think one thing about these tacos, everything that I made had flavor, so every layer of this taco had a really good flavor. So next we're going to work on the chicken. Again, I'm just going to cut the chicken in half. I used 2 full chicken breasts, so I had 4 slices to season and grill. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of lime juice on the chicken, use my taco seasoning from Costco, some cumin, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. So I'm just going to rub this all together, make sure both sides of the chicken are nice and coated. This is where the majority of the flavor comes from for the taco, so you want to make sure it's nice and seasoned. Last, before I start grilling the chicken, I'm just going to make a quick guacamole, and by quick I mean very few ingredients. I'm just going to use 1.5 avocados, a little bit of garlic salt, pepper, and some onion powder. And then I did use a little bit of lime juice. This is just how I like to make my guacamole when I need it for some toppings. So next I'm going to start cooking the chicken. I just had a little bit of oil in the pan heating up on medium heat. Now I'm going to place 3 pieces of this chicken down and let it start cooking until it's nice and brown on the one side. Once it's nice and grilled on the bottom side, I'm just going to flip each piece of chicken. Then I like to throw a lid on top of the pan. That just helps keep all the moisture, all the heat, and all of the juices in the chicken. And then I set them on a cutting board to cool, and then I finish the last piece of chicken. So for the flour tortillas, I just heated them up on my burner, which kind of gave them those cool grilled marks. This is how everything looked when it was done. I am still dreaming of these tacos. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.